The only time black men are allowed to speak is when it benefits others. So hey, this is your opportunity to speak. I want to hear from you. And if you want to make this voice louder and clearer, then what you need to do is contribute to the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Super Chat. I appreciate you. Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds.
If you ever been to Cartier, they do a good job after.
So we appreciate you, Kevin. This is from my family to yours, to you.
Thank you
And
very much.
you've been so much to our family. You've introduced me to this beautiful woman who is soon to be my wife.
She shot a shot.
She got that significant character.
Significant character. And so many of these little catchphrases.
I was actually listening to that broadcast with you three with the city.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, let me go back to the Facebook group real quick.
Which one was it? The shoot the shot video?
And the thing is, her family has Dominican roots. And so I was living down there.
I'm just check this out. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, this one. Won't break. Woo! Is this the Ooh collection?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Thank you.
I was thinking
It's a good day.
Sons of all, but then I was like, what's
This is the ginger one. Rust. Pink. Oh, that's new. Amber. Yeah. You can give me a shout out. You can give me a shout out next time you do a show. You can give me a shout out.
I'm gonna get it.
Oud collection, one of the best oud collections in the world, and nobody really knows about this. I need to talk about these. I told you, I've been hipping out of fragrances. Thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Cool.
and there's a
nice.
card in there.
There you go. Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Dennis Sperling. Make sure you hit the #1 button. If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. I appreciate you guys being here today. Thank you so much. As you guys know, it's been a very difficult week for me and my family. I want to thank all my. Let me make sure I thank all my folks who've been here from day one. There's so many of you guys in here that have just gotten to my channel, but folks like Essential Entities, Yoga, uh, and John Thomas, who else? Lucifer Ratzinger, patrolling these streets, man. Thank you guys so much. We got a lot of new fans in here, a lot of people who are Kevin Samuels fans who appreciate them and love them. Frozen06, Shadow Observer, all my guys. And you all are welcome here. But the thing you need to understand is that this page is, for the most part, dominated by men, specifically black men. Now, before Kevin Samuels passed away, he was doing his best to try to convince me to do not what I wanted to do, but what the people wanted to see. So if you look through my history and my archives here, what you'll find is on this page, we talk about military service of black men. We talk about being good fathers. This is the page this is what my page is dedicated for. It typically started off as a voice to allow black men speak. And I started off on YouTube. I started off on Facebook probably back in 2014. I would literally take quotes from black men, put them up on my unknown brothers, the regular black men, the hardworking brothers, students sometimes, and put it up so that other people would have to see them. And so I basically used my platform to amplify the voices of black men. And that worked well, and I appreciate it. And I want to make sure I give a shout out to all my guys who've been here since my Facebook days. Now there's a big void that needs to be filled. I am not Kevin Samuels. I will never be that articulate, that smooth, and that knowledgeable about relationships. I don't even do relationships. Most of you guys know that. That's not what I'm here to talk about. Matter of fact, Kevin Samuels hooked me up with my relationship with my fiance. So that's not what I'm here to do. But if you want to talk about manhood, if you want to talk about masculinity, you ladies here, if you want to understand your husband better, your boyfriend, your son, your father, this is probably a place for you, because what we will do is we will allow men, not just black men, but all men to speak and voice their opinions. And it does help create a better understanding. I am not as diplomatic as Kevin Samuels. Sometimes I come off a bit harsh. Sometimes I come off a bit rough. I know I do, but by nature, I'm just a natural protector. You know, I'm a protector of my friends. I'm a protector of my children. I'm a protector of the ones that I love. And so this is who I am. You know, I can't really get away from myself, but I've been asked by a lot of other men, a lot of good friends here in the manosphere and around, to try to begin to open up my my platform to accommodate these folks who are looking for a home. Now, here's the thing. I want to talk today about the hate that Kevin Samuels is receiving. I don't understand why people hate this brother so much. Shout out to Jerome Whiteside, man. He's been my OG from day one, been down with me. Shout out to you, man. All my guys from Facebook. Shout out to all y'all. But, you know, when I look at the vitriolic response that's coming from certain sections of the community, you know, I have to ask myself, you know, what exactly did Kevin Samuels do, right? What did he do to deserve all this hate? You know, you act like Kevin Samuels was Dylan Ruth. I mean, and you guys who don't know who Dylan Ruth is, he was that young man, a young white guy who shot up all those people in June 17th, 2015, in Charleston, South Carolina. You see, we haven't heard any outrage about him in over half a decade. And it's almost like the atrocities committed by him didn't count as much. But for Kevin Samuels, this man basically just spoke on the internet and talked about relationships that existed in the Western world. But the vitriolic response from some people, right? I equate it to, well, let me say it like this. Some black people they're treating the death of Kevin Samuels like white people treated the conviction of O.J. Simpson. They was applauding, and that's just horrible. It's horrible to applaud and high five someone's death. And the fact that people are willing to do that, what does it say about your character? And then you have certain personalities and types telling people that it's okay for them to do that. You're telling you who have a voice and who are responsible are telling folks in the community that it's perfectly acceptable to applaud someone's death. Another black man, I've heard this from black people. This is not even white people or Hispanic. This is people from our own culture saying this. See, Kevin Samuels never committed any crimes. In fact, the only thing he was convicted of, he was convicted by his convictions. And he wanted to make Black America great again. That was his thing. And he saw a better future for African Americans in this regard. He would be an Afrofuturist. Okay. And that's a subject I'll deal with another time. But right now, I want to talk about these different entertainers and artists and preachers and reverends who have such negativity to spread about our dearly departed brother, Kevin Samuels. Many of you all love Kevin Samuels. Hit the KS button if you love Kevin Samuels and if you appreciate it. And if you miss him in this week that he's been gone, if you miss him, hit the KS button. Hit the KS button. Show your appreciation for this man's work. You have people flagging his page, trying to take down all of his videos. You have people trying to reach his mother, and I had a reporter try to reach out to his mother that I had to stop in his tracks, and I really had to get on him because he wanted her to hear this 911 tape that was just released by TMZ. How despicable would that be for you to hear your son dying? And this reporter then to ask you, what are your comments on hearing your son dying on a 911 tape? This is what this pretty much summarizes the experience that their family is going through. First, Kevin Samuels' mom had to hear about her son dying from the internet. Now she has reporters calling her up, asking her to listen to the 911 tape as if any woman, any mom should have to hear her son dying in live person. This is horrible. This is disgusting. And there are YouTubers, both famous and infamous, known and unknown. There are entertainers who have a following that are telling people that they are okay with celebrating the death of this man who's done nothing to anybody, who's committed no crimes, right? See, the thing is, I understand that this vitriol, which sounds personal, is truly not personal. It's business. To these people, it's business. These preachers and these reverends and these entertainers, they fear the rise of Kevin Samuels and people like Kevin Samuels. Why? Because you have the people's ear. In other words, the people are listening to you nightly, as was the case with Kevin Samuels. And in fact, on many nights, he got more views among Black people than MSNBC. And this is what's very important, and this is why I want to give a big shout out to all of his fans across the world. Kevin Samuels' demographic began to shift and change. See, it was no longer just Black people that he was listening to, or that was listening to him. You had people of all races and all ethnicities from all over the world, because they recognized that the truth that he was speaking was universal. Now, I don't purport to be a relationship expert. I am not. But I do recognize that the man spoke the truth about what he observed. And he was brave enough to speak and do it boldly and bravely and aloud. And what? The people who appreciated the truth, they rewarded him for that truth. They rewarded him financially, they rewarded him with responses, and he saw it play out over the past week. I have received so many inboxes of people sending me pictures of their marriages. I don't even think Kevin knew of all the people that he had caused to get married or stay in their relationship. I mean, I literally have received dozens and dozens and dozens of people every day. And that's just on my Instagram page of people telling me how effective his work was. So we can't say Kevin Samuels wasn't effective. And we also can't say that he was accurate. So you have an accurate and effective leader, teacher, yet you have so much vitriol. And it doesn't make sense. So it caused me to do what? I had to think and ask myself, why is this? And it's ironic, over the past month or so, Kevin has been telling me, Dennis, you need to talk about power and influence. Power and influence, because that's your thing. That's what you understand. That's the world that you work in. You make a few phone calls, and because of your influence, you can get things done that most of us can't. You can do things that many of us can't do because of power and influence, not money, power and influence. And so when I put that in perspective, when I analyze this, I recognize that the reason that these folks are trying to assassinate his character after death is because, number one, they couldn't do it during his lifetime. They failed miserably, even though they tried. And number two, this is their last opportunity to do it before he goes into legend status. So they want to try to paint the narrative of of Kevin Samuels being this controversial, misogynist, chauvinist, which we all know to be untrue. Those of you who have listened to Kevin Samuels' podcast and not merely settled with the snippets where you hear him going back at a woman who he's probably talked to for 20 or 30 minutes and realized she's full of BS, right? That's when you hear him say, "Oh, get off my phone." Okay? And that in itself is not chauvinist, but that's what people like to say. And it's just not true. But the thing that I want you guys to understand is, if you guys will remember, about a year or two ago, at the dawn of the rise of Kevin Samuels and his popularity, I initially told you guys that the first people that were going to come for him are the lovely ladies, right? And that's my classy way of saying Black American women. I know some of the guys in the manosphere don't like it when I refer to them as lovely ladies, but just like Kevin, myself, you always want to remain classy, even in your criticisms. Okay, so that's why I refer to them as lovely ladies. I think it's the appropriate thing to do, because at the end of the day, these are still your moms and girlfriends and wives and daughters. So you don't want to go about berating people. But the bottom line is, the lovely ladies came first, and they tried to assassinate his character. They called him a misogynist, a sexist, all the things you hear now. Then what happened? Then they fell, because the truth is the truth. The odd thing is that many of those women who began to attacked Kevin Samuels initially, after listening to him in hopes of finding something they could fight with and throw back at him, they became avid followers, and they recognized the truth in what he was saying. Isn't that true, ladies? Some of you guys heard Kevin Samuels and you were outraged, but then you began to listen, and then guess what happened? You decided, hey, this guy's making sense, right? And you became fans. I've heard that story over and over again. And ladies will say, initially, I didn't like what he was saying. But then guess what? Now they appreciate it. They appreciate his words, and they became avid listeners. That's what happened. Next up, after the ladies fell, then came the what we call here in the manosphere, the drone simps, the blue pill drone simps specifically. The blue pill drone simps, which are guys who've been blindly following women and doing whatever they say do no matter what. Okay. These are the blue pill drone simps. Okay. They began to attack Kevin and say, oh, you shouldn't talk like that to women, attacking his sexuality, all those sort of things. All the stuff that guys typically do in the locker room to, put another guy to try to use shaming tactics on another guy. All of that failed. And again, those same men who began to come and attack Kevin Samuels did what? His truth prevailed. And then what? They began to be a follower of Kevin Samuels. And what you can see here is a pattern. And for those who seek money, or for those who seek power and influence who are observing this, they begin to recognize that this is a threat to their influence. If you're a preacher or a pastor or an entertainer on the nightly news, and you have some guy on YouTube who's taking all your viewer hours away, and if you look at the super chat that he had, Kevin used to have the money running in. Now, to those of you guys who are already wealthy, who make a lot of money, it's not a lot. But to somebody who's working at MSNBC and they're only making $250,000 a year, and you see a guy make $250,000 in a month, you're going to be like, hey, this is a threat to our power and influence. And on top of that, not only just the money, but the fact that people were listening. So it makes sense that after the women failed and the men failed and they were turned and they began to listen to Kevin Samuels, the preachers would come. Now, I was able to pick this out before it started to happen. You guys remember when Creflo Dollar related Kevin Samuels' teachings as a sign of the end times? Do you guys remember that? I do. Do you guys remember that? What business does a preacher in a huge mega church have to do? Why is he arguing with somebody, some one man on YouTube? Because Kevin his reach was beginning to extend past just YouTube, but into the real world. You had people disregarding what the preacher was saying, Creflo Dollar, right? And listening to Kevin Samuels, who himself was not a degreed man, intelligent, brilliant, had attended college, but wasn't a degreed man. All these people were threatened by Kevin Samuels. All of them. Not physically, but the influence that they had. Because if you don't have the influence, you don't have the money. If nobody values what you're saying, or what you're saying has now become outdated, you're not going to be able to draw those crowds, Creflo Dollar. And so that's why he attacked him and went so far as to compare him to end times. Not because there's any biblical reference, not because there's any biblical authority, because that's the best weapon he had to use against Kevin Samuels, to scare his parishioners away from going to see Kevin Samuels or listening to Kevin Samuels anymore. This is about power and influence. The reason you see people cheering, these entertainers and artists cheering, it's not so much about their hurt feelings, is they saw themselves going the way of the dodo bird and the dinosaur because of people like Kevin Samuels, who cause other people to pay attention to them. And so now he's passed on. And you see preachers like Reverend Jamal Bryant retweeting and posting these salacious statements made by these website gossip tabloids as if it's true. Allegations that Kevin Samuels died with only a less than $1,000, or his family has set up a GoFundMe account. Let me explain something to you, and I want to say this now. Any GoFund, I'm in direct conversations, direct communications with Kevin's mother every day, along with his best friend Jeff, who we often reference. They have not authorized and have not set up a GoFundMe account. She is a very proud woman, from the Midwest, a strong woman, and not fake strong. I mean, really strong. And so she's doing what she has to do. She and Kevin's daughter, Caitlin, are doing what they have to do, along with Jeff, and getting this taken care of. And so any of these GoFundMe accounts, none of them are real. We had one deleted last night, but these are all fake. These are all fraudsters trying to manipulate y'all's feelings and emotions and get you to donate to them. So if you see them, please flag them. If you see them, please flag them. Okay? But Kevin Samuels did not die with only $1,000. Those of you guys who know the YouTube business understand he was doing fine. He was financially. It's nothing to even pontificate about. People who even bring that up are just being disingenuous in the way they bring it up. Okay? So let's stop that right there. But I want to move on. The entertainers, I predicted that the entertainers would come after the preachers. Why? Because not only was Kevin Samuels providing knowledge and a certain teaching, he was also entertaining the people. You guys would sit up and watch Kevin Samuels for an hour, 2 hours, as long as he was there. I'm going to tell you now that he's gone, I wish I had spent more time listening to his videos when he was live, because it was great entertainment. It was humorous. It was fun. Sometimes when he would go in on those people who were calling in, the way he handled himself, it was humorous. We liked that. We were entertained. We needed that after a long day of work. Some of you all would sit up with your wives. Some of you would sit up with your husbands, boyfriends, and you would listen, and it would be entertaining. So now not only are you learning something, but you're also being entertained. Do you see now why these entertainers from Hollywood are now attacking Kevin Samuels? Is it starting to play out? This is about power and influence. Anytime you have random unknown comedians and artists denouncing Kevin Samuels, who is not a comedian, nor is he an artist, nor was he an actor, even though he was getting into the acting field, it lets you know something. They have a dog in that hunt, a Southern saying, which means they have interest in something, and they feel their interests are being compromised. Kevin Samuels was stealing influence and power away from these people, which they feel they earn. Many of these folks had to do all sorts of horrible things to get to their positions. You guys have heard of the casting couch that these actors and actresses have had to sit on. And so they feel like they paid their dues. They feel like they were entitled. They feel like I've been blessed by Hollywood. I should be the only voice. I'm the superstar. And here you got this well-dressed black man who came in clean as the board of health with these tailored suits and the cufflinks and the watches and the immaculately dressed, haircut, always cut, clean. This 50-something-year-old man outshining all of these artists. So he was something to look at. On top of that, he had the lights and the little swirly thing in the back. The little swirly thing in the back that he had, with the music playing, his selection of music playing. It was entertainment, and they felt threatened. They were jealous, and they felt threatened. And so they attacked him then, and now they're attacking him now. What was going to happen next, I'm going to tell you guys now, and it may still happen as far as the manosphere. Next would come the politicians, and then the lawmakers, and then the judges. But before I get to that subject, realize that many of those entertainers who initially wanted to denounce Kevin Samuels, they began to listen to him. People like Shaquille O'Neal, we know he listened to him because he quoted and referenced Kevin Samuels. They've referenced the Manosphere. So we know they're listening. When you have over 1.5 million fans, pretty much everyone's listening. So that began, so now so let's relive it. Black women were offended first, and then they became fans. Black men were sent to attack, and then they became fans. The preachers and the folks in the choir and in the pews, first they wanted to denounce them, and then they became fans. The entertainers and the actors and the actresses and folks, they wanted to denounce them and call them all these horrible names, and then they became fans. Do you see a pattern here? Do you see an effect here? Period. I see it. Now, next would have come the judges and whatnot and the lawmakers, and they'd have had to try to regulate it, and many of them would have become fans. And when they become fans, guess what happens? Laws change. In its essence, Kevin was a traditionalist. He believed in marriage. He believed in family. He believed in men's rights. Most of the folks here on the Manosphere believe that men have the right to be with their children. They have the right to live freely and live their lives and have beautiful and desirable women, and they should not be destroyed in family court, whether they're getting a divorce or whether it's child support. That's the fundamental belief that all of us have, and that dates back to the men's rights movement, which started in the 1990s. And then you had some guys who decided to go their own way, and they occupied the dark corners of the internet when it popped up. And then from there, you had the pickup guys, and then you had the guys who decided to give relationship advice. And then from there, you had this, and now you have what is called the Manosphere, which is really a place where men come to talk to other men. We don't have the pool halls anymore. We don't have the football games where men could sit and talk. And so this is where we came. And now it's something totally different. Now it's a place where the world comes to talk. And Kevin Samuels provided that platform for the world to come and talk. And so this is where we are. So what you see, right? What you see is folks attacking Kevin Samuels because of the power and influence that he had. This is it. See, the problem is for those who want to hold on to power and influence is that once the folks began to listen to Kevin Samuels, his truth resonated with them. And because of that, people began to follow him. So whether you were some, random YouTuber or a church parishioner or entertainer or athlete, a lawmaker, whatever, when you heard Kevin Samuels, you heard his truth. And you began to realize that relationships in the Western world and all over the world, actually, anywhere that the doctrine of, we'll say Eminism, shout out to Eminism, is and has affected the people, it was necessary. Unfortunately, Kevin won't see the fruits of his labor. He won't reap the produce that the seeds he planted will bear, right? He won't see that day. But the question that I have to ask you guys is why so much hate? I have an answer for it, and I gave it to you, right? But what we're going to do is something that we normally do here, and that is I'm going to open up the chat room, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm going to, there are a lot of Kevin Samuels fans in here. I want to keep the profanity down. Where my guys at? Let me see where my guys at. Let's do this first. I want to get some more mods. So I'm going to ask you a question, and my moderators, they know who they are, right? And so I'm going to ask this question, and only the people who've been here for a while are going to know this answer. Okay? I want you to finish this sentence for me, folks. Okay, guys? I'm going to say 50. I'm going to say 50 cal, And what's the next word that goes after that? When I say 50 cal, who am I talking about? Come on, guys. Where my guys at? When I say 50 cal, who am I talking about? Those who can answer that question will become moderators. When I say 50 cal, who am I talking about? There we go. All right. All right. All right, Tristan, you're going to be my moderator here. Let me get you in here, Tristan. All right. So Tristan, welcome. Who else we got? Cedric. Oh yeah, I got my man, all my guys. This is how I know my guys. All right. So too many people have answered that. So all right. So okay. All right. Yeah. So we got a couple. We need to get a few more moderators in here. I need to get some more moderators. Let me see. I guess let me see. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, we got that's 50 cal Hal. My guys who've been here, we know who 50 cal Hal was. You guys just all right. So let me see. What is my when I say Fiesta in El Barco, what do I mean by that? What is Fiesta in El Barco? Huh? Come on, guys. What is Fiesta? And I got to get some more moderators before we can move on. Okay. I need more moderators. So Fiesta in El Barco, what is that? I know the Kevin Samuels fans are like, huh? What is he talking about? What? You guys, man, we've been doing this. This is okay. Not quite. Where does that Fiesta in our Barco come from? Where does that come from, guys? There we go. EMT. Let me give you your new moderator. There we go. Y'all don't know Uncle D got flow. Just not no more. All right. How about that? So thank you, EMT 888. Yep. All right. There we go. So guys, look, man, shout out to all the Kevin Samuels fans. They are just confused. We got code words over here, secret code words, man. All right, I'm gonna get one more, and I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say this, and you guys forget it. You guys finish, okay? When I say hashtag Uncle D, never forget Uncle D is a what? Never forget Uncle D is a what? Come on, give it to me. Never forget Uncle D is a finish the legend. Finish this. There we go. All right. We'll get West Coast African. We'll make you a moderator since you understand. Who else we got? Yeah. All right, cool. This is gonna be fun. So the thing is, my man Chaos Rain, I'm gonna get you in here. All right, hold on a minute. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get Chaos Rain. I need Chaos Rain to be a moderator. All right, so we got some moderators. I need some more moderators. I like to keep my chat room respectful and respectable. We don't do a lot of cursing in here. We try to keep it cool, but let's try to honor Kevin Samuels. And I want to talk to you guys, man. Let me do this before I start letting people in. Let me talk to you guys. And when I say talk to you guys, I'm talking about you artists and entertainers that seem to have a problem with Kevin Samuels. Okay, I want to talk to you guys about yourself. Now, I heard Miss Vivica Fox say this. Now, I'm a big fan of Vivica Fox. I remember back in the day, she was fine, She was a fine entertainer, a woman, beautiful woman. And I was very disappointed when she had these to say about Kevin Samuels. Basically saying that he does, almost as though he got karma, right? But here's the thing, Miss Vivica. You yourself have been alleged to be involved in different scandals. Kevin Samuels doesn't have any scandals. All he did was speak his mind. So is this how you want to be remembered? By something that could be wholly made up, that some allegation, this allegation of a sex tape where you allegedly did something inappropriate to another friend? Is this how you want to be remembered? Why bring this up on this man's death day? Why do that? All of us. And see, we are all black people. Let me give you another one. Baltimore pastor Jamal Bryant. This gentleman, right? Do we know him? He was the pastor that was arrested in the Ferguson riots. But the thing about him is this: he has all of these alleged. Look at these headlines from the Christian Post. Alleged former lover of Pastor Jamal Bryant speaks out after he's accused of egregious sexual conduct. This is on December 21st, 2020. Jamal Bryant, essence, why are we making excuses for Pastor Jamal Bryant? Is enough? You have the nerve to share some rag of a website gossip columnist when you have all this stuff. Is this what you want people to do on your deathbed the day you die? Will Jamal Bryant get fired as he gets involved in another cheating scandal? These are the headlines from these different things. Is this how you want people to smear your reputation and your name on your dying day, on the day that you died? You think this is fair, sir? And you consider yourself a man of the cloth? Is this what you want? Because that's what you did to Kevin Samuels. Creflo Dollar, he might not have said nothing, but he might say something soon. In 2012, we remember he was arrested for allegedly attacking his 15-year-old daughter. Is this how we want to remember him? You want people to post this up on Twitter on your last day here after you've been killed or after you died? However you go out, car accident, lying in your bed, whatever it is. You want people to say you died from your liver exploded because it was karma? You died from a car accident. You were killed in a car accident because of karma. Is that what you want? No, that's not appropriate, especially for men of the cloth. Brother Boyce Watkins. I really like Boyce Watkins. I don't really have anything bad to say about Boyce Watkins. I like Boyce Watkins. He's an intelligent, educated man. He's a married man. You have the nerve to pontificate as to whether or not Kevin Samuels died broke. And then you have the nerve to conclude it when there's nothing else there, saying, I wish he had died with a woman that he'd known better. How do you know how well he knew her? Apparently only me and his best friend were the only ones he told about her, because we're the only ones he could truly trust. Kevin Samuels was very private about his private life, and for obvious reasons. But you guys heard him say what he did when he screened women. He runs background reports. He does interviews. This man is literally screened this woman for months before he finally decided to, okay, we can get together, you check out. Can you imagine what it's like to be under that type of pressure? You can't trust any women at all because you got all this money and you don't know why people are coming after you. And so for you to say that, brother, about another black man makes me wonder, what is the problem? And the problem, Mr. Watkins, the problem as I see it, is that Kevin Samuels' power and influence began to usurp yours and other thought leaders, whereas you're saying, hey, we should marry these baby mamas and two women, and women who have children with 2 kids, we should marry. He's saying, no, demand better. Matter of fact, don't marry those women and teach the younger girls don't have children out of wedlock. What are you had a differing of opinion as to some sort of relationship dynamic. And so you attack this man on his dying day, on the day he's dead. That is highly inappropriate, Boyce Watkins. And I would expect more from an educated man. if you have an issue with his philosophy and his teachings, what you should have done is said, hey, let's enter into a debate. The same thing you did with Kwame Brown. You challenged Kwame Brown publicly to a debate. I've never heard you challenge Kevin Samuels publicly to a debate about relationships. My question is, why is that? Probably because you felt that he would be a challenge more so than you expected. Because you yourself are not educated in relationships. You're a finance guy. You're a finance guy, brother. You're a finance guy. The reason I don't give relationship advice because I'm a lawyer. I'm talking about power and influence and history and law because that's my niche. That's what I do. That's what I've been professionally trained in. But to attack this black man in public like that and imply that he was with some woman that he didn't know, knowing that you don't know at all. You don't know him. You haven't had any conversation with him. In fact, you guys had diametrically opposed worldviews as far as relationships. How would you like if we attacked you on this day? We bring up the fact that he denounced, Kevin's Boyce Watkins denounced the vice president's Kamala Harris. Why? Because she's married to a white man. Right? What if they talk about the fact that you made some comments about Lizzo, which were widely interpreted as fat shaming? Is this what you want people to say about you on your dying day? I wish he had been more understanding. Just like you don't have any controversies, Dr. Watkins. You just don't have any. And neither did Kevin Samuels. And the thing that they found was what? Wish he had died in the arms of a woman he'd known better. And you don't even know how well they've known each other. You're just talking. You're just trying to put your 2 cents in. And it's unfortunate. And it's unbecoming of a person who considers himself a thought leader of Black America. And you wonder why people began to go to Kevin Samuels and other people in the Black manosphere because they no longer trust you. They see through your motives and they don't like it. Kevin Samuels spoke the truth. And I've never even heard him respond to any of his haters. That's the thing. Whereas you all attack him and he's dead. So who's the person who has a better character? Who should we as Black Americans pattern ourselves after? The one who would attack a dead man who can't defend himself and besmirch his character because you don't like the fact that he began to do what you couldn't do, and that is grow his audience and take influence away from what you feel is yours? Or you all? Or this man who spoke the truth, who people loved and appreciated? And that's what people did. They followed the latter. And you can't be angry with that. You have to recognize that sometimes some people are just better at things than you are. That's it. And that's life. But to just try to destroy another Black man, try to imply that, somehow he failed in life because he wasn't with a woman that he'd known for 30 or 40 years, that's very low. And it demonstrates your character and who you are. And that's unfortunate because I looked up to you at one point. Many of us here in Black America did. We looked up to you. But to try to destroy the character of one of our own, Kevin Samuels looks like us. He's a black man. And, I know you folks who are here from, I get it. I know that Kevin Samuels, you don't like when I talk to the black people only, but I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay. But let me just talk black for a minute. Okay. As a black man, I don't like to see other black men tearing other black men down. It's destructive. It's unfortunate. And I am simply trying to correct you and help you understand that this is how it looks to us. And it just makes people not want to be around you. It makes people question your character. You already say these extremely outlandish things. You're telling black men they should date single mothers even when they don't have children. Do you tell women who don't have children that they should date men with children? Do you tell them they should date single fathers? Probably not. Probably not, because that's not what women want to hear. And you're, like many others, have become you recognize that if you tell women what they want to hear, then they'll pay you for you. They'll reward you for that. Whereas Kevin Samuels did the exact opposite. He broke the mold. Instead of telling women what they wanted to hear, he told the truth. And maybe you missed this lesson, but the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, through his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, once told his student, as their teacher, that if you gave a cup of water, which is dirty, to the people, they'll drink it because they have to. But if you give them a clean cup of water, they'll take that. Kevin Samuels was speaking the truth. That represented the clean cup of water. You all were pandering and lying to women. And they recognized that even though it sounded good, it wasn't good for them. And so they made a choice and they decided to move forward and go with the truth. And you can't be angry with the people for that. That is a sign of maturity. Mr. Samuels was helping our people mature. And you all who felt your power and your influence dwindling, you didn't like that. And that's unfortunate. Now, there are some who I want to specifically give some shout outs to, because my good friend, Charleston White, I want to give a big shout out to him. He made a hilarious video, I believe, the day after Kevin Samuels passed away, a few days after. It was hilarious. It was clearly distasteful, but it was hilarious. It was the one laugh that I've had all week. And it was a reference as to how brother Kevin Samuels died. And he pointed out the fact that he didn't die like a criminal, getting shot down in the street. He didn't die in some room in Miami Beach, drugged up, doing some, interesting acts, like a certain politician from Florida. He died in the arms of a beautiful woman that he wanted to be with and had planned a life with, and who he had heavily screened, and who he actually wanted to have children with and marry. So, if you got to go, that's a good way to go. That's what Charleston White says. So shout out to him. Big shout out to brother Tariq Nasheed, man. Thank you so much for defending our brother. And there's never been any criticism from Tariq Nasheed. And I'm going to tell you personally, Kevin Samuels really liked Tariq Nasheed. He liked what he was doing. He recognized that, his work was important. And he spoke about Tariq a few times. And I like Tariq. I have all of Tariq's videos. My sons and I have watched all of his episodes. And if I can get a copy of that buck breaking video, I will. It's just been hard to find. But thank you so much, Tariq Nasheed, because he's been one of Kevin Samuel's supporters. And Kevin said about maybe a year ago, some people tried to get Tariq Nasheed to say some mean things about Kevin Samuels, and he wouldn't. And that's what brothers are supposed to do. And I don't know if Tariq agrees or disagrees with Kevin Samuels, but if they do, then at least he didn't make it public and make it a fight. And that's because Tariq Nasheed is on code. And I appreciate that. And that's what brothers should do. It's not a whole lot of us in this country. It's only 20 million of us, 22 million black men in this country. Okay. And so it serves no purpose for us to be fighting against each other. That's all I'm saying. So, I'm going to open up the chat room for a few minutes. Okay. I want you guys to hit the number 1 button. All right. Let me know you're in here. Hit the KS button. All right. If you appreciate Kevin Samuels and you miss him, hit the KS button, and I'll let a couple people in here. I want to hear some testimony. You got to cam up. That's going to be a new rule. You got to cam up because we got a lot of trolls here. And the thing is, the only people that can comment are subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, you can't comment. All right. So that's why you haven't been able to join in the conversation via text message. But if you want to talk, you want to vent, you're angry, you got something you want to share, then go ahead and join the chat room. And let me say this also. A lot of you guys send me clips or videos about YouTubers and comments people are making about me. Let me explain something to you guys about me. I'm built for this. I'm from South Central Los Angeles, born and raised. And I enjoy it. This is what I do. Okay. So I'm absolutely not affected by these little quips and things that people say about me. I'm here defending my brother. Matter of fact, I had to ask my fiance, what is a clout chaser? And basically what she described to me, this is a person trying to seek attention. I said, well, I am trying to seek attention. I am clout chasing. I'm trying to seek attention to combat the attention that these naysayers and these negative people have, so I can put a positive narrative out about my brother. So I am clout chasing. I don't find that as an insult. I wish I had more influence so that I can get on a bullhorn and broadcast how these people are lying about my brother. I am acting as a friend to my brother and his family by defending his reputation and his legacy. Yes, I am clout chasing. See, I don't do all the slang, right? Yes, I'm seeking attention on behalf of my black brother because I don't want you all defaming him and destroying his character, and his mother and his daughter have to see it. So that's what I'm doing. And all these little, if you were really, I'm not a keyboard gangster. I really do this in real life. I've walked in courtrooms in some of the biggest, against some of the biggest corporations in America and have walked out with a win. Back in Los Angeles, California, I played left tackle for 3 years at Manual Arts High School, which is on Martin Luther King Boulevard in South Central Los Angeles. So what I'm telling you is I've gone up against some of the biggest and the baddest in the city in one of the baddest cities in America. So these little things that you all are saying, they don't bother me. So y'all don't worry about me. Don't worry about Uncle D. Okay? Y'all don't have to inbox me what these folks are saying. I don't care. They just talking. I'm defending my brother. Now, what I need for you all to do is help me defend my brother. When you see these fake GoFundMe accounts up, and I've told you, we haven't funded, we ain't no GoFundMe accounts. Miss Beverly has not put up any GoFundMe accounts. She's a very proud woman. Okay, she's not done that. We haven't authorized any of that. She doesn't want that. She wants to bury her son with respect and dignity, and so that his legacy can remain intact. That's what she wants. And so I appreciate y'all, recognizing that these GoFundMe accounts are fraudulent and getting them removed. Please do that. The other thing is, when you see these folks having these negative things to say about Kevin Samuels, if you truly appreciated him and what he did, then you go fight that with truth. I'm not asking you to attack anybody. Don't use profanity. Don't do that. That's not dignified. That's not respectful. That's not how I want you men to behave. That's not how I want you women to behave. Just go hit them with the truth. Speak the truth. Talk about all the marriages that he's helped create. That's what I want you to do. Okay? Not that other stuff. We don't do negativity. Okay? But anyway, I want to let one of my old school fellas up in here, man. Yoga, what's happening, man? It's always good to have you in here, brother.
What's going on, Attorney Dennis Sperling? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, man, brother.
Hey,
Welcome
I know
back.
it's a lot of people out there that's clicking on and want to say something. I'm gonna be straight to the point, and I'm gonna do like KS did. I'm gonna talk facts and truth. Like Brother Tariq Nasheed points out, they attack Tariq because he's independent. He doesn't have any networks paying him, any white Jews or Russians, he's not signed, and we have to protect the brothers. Now we see KS, self-built, self-made, not signed by a record label. He went on CNN like Boris Watkins and Fox News. Came ground.
What you see is you see a self-made black man, and here's the thing you got to understand: Kevin was a businessman.
Exactly.
He'll work with whoever worked with. He worked with whoever. He didn't care. Matter of fact, you'll see him on an upcoming show. I believe. What's the name of the show he's going to be on?
I think he's going to be on the Atlanta show.
Yeah. So you'll see him on that show. Kevin was not racist. He was not bigoted. He loved his people, but he'll work with anybody for the money. One of the people he took us up to was Jose Zanega, a Honduran fella out of New York, and me, TLA, also known as the lead attorney, and MTR, Mediocre Tutorials and Review. We saw his vision. I finally got what he was trying to get me to do. I'm not a YouTuber per se. I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman who built brick and mortar businesses. And that's what he wanted me to come in and help. See, I'm going to tell you guys this again. Kevin Samuels worked himself to death. That's what happened. He worked himself to death. You're looking at a 57-year-old man who was working 23 hours a day for 7 days a week for the past 2.5 years. He didn't really have anybody he could hang out with, didn't trust a whole lot of folks. This is what Kevin Samuels was doing. You see what I'm saying? So just recognize that you got to have infrastructure around you if you're going to do business. Keep that in mind. You need infrastructure around. I wish I'd gotten there a year earlier. We could have set up some infrastructure, but it is what it is, man. Shout out to my man Lucifer Ratzinger. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to hit you up, bro. We need to talk about some infrastructure in the direction that we're going. But hold on a minute, Yoga. Let me let this other young brother in, man. Thank you so much.
Businessman. All right.
Yes, sir. Afro Patriarch, man. What's happening, brother? How you doing? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, man. And I just want to give my condolences. And it's been a rough couple of days. I see for everybody involved. And I just want to say I was inspired by the man. He reminded me a lot of my grandfather. He reminded me a lot of my grandfather. Just someone didn't take any shit from nobody. And
I appreciate that, man. And all my guys who've been here for a while, this is still a guy's page, man, but we got to open up the doors and let some of Kevin Samuels fans in. I think he would want that, just so y'all are welcome here. I'll try to, maybe I can get somebody to come talk about suits or something like that. Put some lights in the back or something like that. Thanks so much, Afro Patriarch. I appreciate you, brother. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. All right, let me see. We got a new visitor here. Young brother named JP. Hi, JP. How are you today, sir?
What's going on, Mr. Sperling? How you doing?
I'm good. Welcome. How has Kevin Samuels affected you in your life? I mean, go ahead and tell us.
Sure. Listen, I used to work in government, and I switched from government. I wanted to go to grad school and go into technology. I'm in the Silicon Valley. And it was a difficult transition. I broke up with my girlfriend at the time. We had been together 10 years, went through a bunch of issues. And I found myself living in my car at a period of time. I told MTR this the other day. And, at that time, I'm digging, I got a plan, I'm figuring it out, but then I run into the manosphere, the black manosphere at this time. And Kevin Samuels was one of the main people, at that time, because, and this was before with the young lady with the average at best. This was before that, right?
Okay.
But long story longer, a lot of the stuff that he was saying let me know that I was doing the right thing, and I had to get upfield. I had to do it how I had to do it. And so, you know, he really helped me with the perspective on that, and all you guys too, you know, and I'm glad I found you in particular. We're like the X-Men, you know, as black men, and we all have different powers. And it seems like that power has been concentrated, just like you're saying, with the entertainers. And maybe they're not necessarily qualified to be given this guidance.
Yeah.
And last thing I would say, real quick, is just that I think that right now, a certain group of black women and us are separate political and socioeconomic classes, and we need to start operating that way. If they want it to be that way, then that's how we got to go about it.
And that's unfortunate because we're better together, you know. But
I believe we are. I believe we are too.
You know,
but,
and I go ahead, brother.
Well, I mean, but you know, it's like being in a fight and somebody's throwing punches at you. Now, I don't want to be in the fight necessarily, but if you're swinging at me, at some point, we got to just do what we got to do till we get some reason. And I don't like to use the violence kind of example with women, but figuratively speaking, you get what I'm saying. I think it's important for us to be together, but if these women are so far over here to the left, then we kind of got to just focus on who want to be with us.
But see, the thing is, man, what you saw Kevin Samuels do, and I used to be like you. I used to feel the same way you do. What you saw Kevin Samuels do every night was bring these women into line. You saw him do that. You saw him do that by basically letting these other women holding a mirror up to whoever's calling in, so the women who were looking, who were in the same or similar situation, would see how ridiculous they look. The man was basically creating a miracle before our eyes. Who else has been able to basically put black women in a position where they had to self-analyze and then change? See, I was not convinced. Okay, that's why I was SYSBM before I even knew what SYSBM was, and I was done with all American women. Okay, all of them. I didn't care if they was white, black, Hispanic, Asian.
It's you he was talking about. It's you he was talking about.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is, in my opinion, in the Western world, they're all the same. It wasn't until Kevin Samuels began to speak and tell women that they began to say, oh, maybe I need to change. My lady is a product of Kevin Samuels' message. See, a woman has to be a wife even when she's not married. Absolutely. See, you don't make a wife. A wife is a wife before you get there. And so what Kevin has been doing is he's been giving these women wife lessons, not fake femininity courses, not read my book, buy my $200 brochure, I'm going to teach you how to be a woman. No, this is what men want. If you want to be a wife, this is what you need. That's what he was saying. And he did that over and over again in an impactful way. And it caused for so many different women to conform that, man, you go into his group, the mix, and they're there. That's where the wives are. The wives are there. So what I want you to understand, and again, bro, I used to just let brothers vent like, yeah, that's right, brother. But in the vein of Kevin Samuels, recognize what this man's work was. This man basically was showing us that, hey, we're better. He realized we were better together. And what you have to do is you have to help these women conform. And he was the godfather because he was a neutral source, you know, and he did his job, man. All we have to do now is keep it going. The work is done. The thought is done. The process is out there. He did his work, and we just have to conform. And we can't let these people, these entertainers, these actors, these angry women who don't want to change, these older women who want younger women to listen to them. We cannot let them beat this man's legacy up and destroy it so that people don't want to listen to it, because he had the answers. And so, you know, just think about that, man. But the work is out there. Keep listening. Thank you so much, brother. Let me, I want to get some ladies in here. Any ladies who have any testimonies? Because I know there is a lot of ladies who have testimonies, and you guys talked about, I mean, y'all have beat my inbox up on Instagram. Okay. And so what I want to know is, are you, any of you ladies here, right? Any of you ladies who have a testimony, tell me how we helped you stay with your husband. Tell me how he made you realize I probably would do much worse out on the open market than here in my relationship. I'd like to hear what you like. Yeah, you got to cam up because we got to make sure we watch the trolls. We don't want any trolls here, you know, and You know, so I want to hear what the ladies have to say. Ladies, come on in. Let's see what we pretty full here. We full of dudes at the bottom of the screen. There's a lot of guys in here. I want to hear a couple of ladies. Hit the KS button, hit the #1 button. Matter of fact, go ahead and just put in Godfather. Let's see how many of y'all can put in the Godfather, right? Type in Godfather for Kevin Samuels, man. And recognize what happened. Recognize that the reason that you have people like Vivica Fox, the reason that you have people, all these entertainers, Boyce Watkins, is because Kevin Samuels was becoming an influencer, in that he was influencing people to, more so than he was stealing ears away from them, and that made them upset. Now, the thing I'm going to do this, if you guys want to continue this conversation on YouTube, I want you guys to, of you guys who are on Facebook and whatnot, you're going to have to come over here to YouTube. So I'm going to hit the link so y'all can come on in here and subscribe. I'm going to hit the link, okay, for everybody who's on Facebook, all right? You guys are going to get out of here, but you can hit the link and you can come in and join. Make sure you subscribe if you want to comment, all right? So Facebook, you're out, okay? You guys, you Facebook folks are out, all right? Y'all are out of here. You got to come to YouTube. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy, okay? So let me get y'all out of here. Now, I want to get some ladies in here. I want to hear what you ladies have to say. Are there any ladies who want to come talk and give us some testimonies? If not, we got plenty of them coming up on Saturday. Sunday. But let me see who else we got in here. My man Devin Lockett, it's always good to have you in here, brother.
Same here, brother.
So you understand, Kevin is gone, and we got a lot of people, entertainers and reverends and preachers. And I talked about this before. I talked about how there's a lot of jealousy and a lot of envy because of the power and the influence that he was cultivating. What would you like to add to that, brother?
Brother, and all of the hate is just going to keep his flame alive that much longer. I think it's sick. I think it's disgusting to celebrate the death, especially of another black man, of a brother, to celebrate a brother's death. The brother was genius, whether you like it or not. The brother was committed, and he was more professional than all of us here on YouTube, man. I mean, he had it not only from the wardrobe to his set, but the way he constructed his message and the way he constructed his shows. I was disappointed at the fact that, in the later stages, because I've been listening to him ever since he was talking about cologne. And then in the later stages, when he really caught fire, he didn't even let guys call in most of the time, right? Because it was really all about the ladies. So, of course, I still tuned in and still heard, but I wish I could have participated more, like I do with your channel. Yeah. But
I need you to tell them what this channel we normally do on this channel, because a lot of people don't get the fact that this we talk about military science, we talk about lifting weights, we talk about politics, we break down legal cases. This is really but go ahead.
But you're right, man. But see, the thing what people don't understand is that Kevin Samuels was part of that too, in the fact that the black man, the heterosexual black American man, has a voice that must be heard and will be heard, and they can't put that genie back in the bottle. You see, they had a perfect little, I'm not going to mention any names or any politics or anything, but they had a perfect little scenario where the matriarchy was representative of the black race. The black American community was represented by women and led by women, and if you want any kind of diversity besides that, it's going to be homosexuals or LGBT or whatever, right? And they really thought that they were going to silence us by not giving us an official voice or an official platform in the mainstream media.
Yeah, and here we come. Here we come. Up the middle. Yeah.
Right,
and that was a shock, and it began to change socialization and how people interacted. Man, give me a minute. We got a lady in here, Morgan Tron. How you doing, Morgan? How are you today, ma'am?
Good evening, Mr. Sperling. Thank you for providing me this opportunity.
Yes,
the lessons that Kevin was trying to teach us as women, whether we got past the rhetoric, some of the ego that did come up from time to time, were ones that a lot of us have missed in life, just to keep it totally honest. And what I could appreciate about Kevin was he caused us as women to really put that mirror up in front of us, looking at ourselves in our present and reflecting on the decisions that we've made in our past. So whether you stood for him or against him, he was truly an individual that if we all took the lessons that were taught beneath all of the feelings and the emotions that we experienced as he communicated with us, you can't help but want to step into today and going forward being a better woman. Period.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I always, and we're very respectful to women in this chamber. I used to call it, this is the lion's den. Do you think he would have been as effective if he wasn't so, I'll just say crass? If he would, they call him rude and mean. If he and would he have even been able to cut through the noise if he was saying
absolutely? And let me tell you why. He represented that platform in a way that pulled from all walks of life, regardless of background, levels of education, how an individual sees themselves. He represented all of it. And it was not easy to hear. I remember when I first joined that platform, I was in awe of the level of depth that the women that would come on could not see what he was presenting. But when you go back and look at these videos, for all of those that have had so many harsh things to say, we missed those lessons growing up, ladies and gentlemen. And as the women reflect back on how they were raised, some of the things that we should have been taught along the way, if we could step back to our 18-year-old selves and really look at life in a different way, a lot of us, whether we admit it or not, would do some things differently.
And see, the thing is,
and I think that was so powerful. That was profound. And
don't talk over me. Don't talk over me.
My apologies, Mr. Sperling. Please forgive me.
No problem. I'm just kidding. That's just a throwback. I'll just give you a little kid. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Now, we talk over each other on this page, but no. Basically, do you think the reason? And you're an older woman. You think the reason that? And Kevin pointed this out all the time. He said younger women are easier to talk to than the older women. Matter of fact, when the young girls are calling, he'll just cut them off. Say, "Ma'am, this is not your conversation."
Absolutely.
And so, is it that because it's mostly older women complaining about Kevin Samuels?
Absolutely.
What did he call them? Big Shirleys? Is that what he called them? Shout out to
he had all kinds of names. Big Shirleys.
In the chat room. Give me a big
PhDs, all of it. Love you all. Yeah,
it was
thank
the
you.
big Shirleys complaining. It was the big Shirleys complaining, not the young, beautiful women.
Yes, because I think our young women have an opportunity to do things different than a lot of us that are older, right? And if they would just listen to some of the basic elements of what we allow in our lives so early that you cannot undo. When you have that first child out of wedlock, when you make decisions like that, how it reshapes the scope of your life. Whether we are honest about that, whether we admit that in our own tongue and from our own mouths, that is each individual's, you're at liberty to do that on your own or not. But when you reflect back and if you could do things differently with some of the lessons that he provided us with, you can't have but a better outcome.
Right.
And that's if we're being honest and transparent with ourselves and being reflective in that way. And Mr. Sperling, that's all I wanted to join here today. Thank you for this platform. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, ma'am. And like I said, all of you Kevin Samuels fans are welcome here. But I got my own people that's been here for a long time. Shout out to Rich Turner. What's happening, man?
Uncle D, what's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, man. What are your thoughts on the way some of these folks are attacking Kevin Samuels, man, as a result of this? I mean, as a result of his untimely death. What are your thoughts on it as a black man looking at it? Because we do a lot of introflexion here. As a black man seeing that, how does that affect you,
brother? I just like anybody else. Of course, I was pretty upset, but I also had to think about it, man. I don't know what, but something in me told me that this brother wasn't going to be around for a really long time because his light was shining so bright. I mean, abnormally bright, and it reminds you of the Malcolms, it reminds you of the Martins, where the light is so bright where you know that it can only burn that bright for so long.
Man, you brought up something, and I've been thinking about this, man. Whenever I would be around Kevin, everything was a rush.
Yeah.
We had to hurry up and get here. We couldn't wait for the Uber. We got to rush. Everything's a rush. You got to hurry up and do this. We got to go to New York, and then after that, we're gonna go to Boston, and we're gonna go back to Miami. We got to rush. And sometimes, man, I think the spirit talks to you because the spirit knows. Your soul knows when your date is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just feel that. I just feel like he knew he didn't have a lot of his soul. Something in him knew he had to hurry up.
Right.
So it's interesting you brought that up. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man. It's the first time I've ever dropped $100 on the super chat, man. It was for that brother because something was telling me. I was like, man, and there's some other brothers that you really don't see them too much. The A-Free, Grenadier Adrian, the brother Yemi. All of us would make sure, that we tried to make sure we give him his flowers while he was here.
Yeah, man.
Because I had that feeling, man. I'm telling you, I was like, man, that light was so bright, and my spirit was telling me, and I'm not even a person who's I'm not superstitious or nothing like that, but I had a feeling deep down in my spirit. I was like, man, this brother, man, I wish he would last for forever, but at the same time, a little bit of life experience and a lot of other situations that I've been in had told me that he wouldn't be around for too long. So every chance I got, we were dropping those $100 super chats, man. Keep going, keep going, Godfather. Keep going, OG. And really, that kind of gave me some sort of solace that even though people are trying to drag his name after his passing, those of us who really supported him and really loved the fact that he was getting that message out there, we gave him his flowers while he was here. And I think history will show that he was probably the most woke person that we've had over the last, I would say, over the last 10, 20 years. Because of what his end goal was. A lot of people get caught up in, the message, not the message. A lot of people get caught up in the fanfare of it. But when you remove all of that out of the way and you realize what his ultimate goal was, which is to bring us together, I think history will prove him right.
And a lot of folks are offended by the fact
that to bring me to tears showing that
a lot
again.
Of us compare
I'm on camera. Come on up.
We need to see it, man. The man was having a good time, man. He was smiling, and his best friend Jeff told me, he said, man, the fact that he was partying with y'all in Miami for his birthday, he said, I ain't do that in like 8 years. All the man did was work. And so the fact that he took time out just to enjoy his birthday, man, that just says a lot. And that I ain't know. And he wasn't even gonna tell us that. We just found out, and I was like, oh well, we gonna have a party. And this is I forget the name of this restaurant, but it turns into a club. It's down in Miami. Man, it's over in Miami proper. I forget. I can't believe I can't remember that name. But man, he had a good time, man. Popping some Ace of Spades upstairs. He didn't even drink. We took a couple of sips, and to me, like that was like his going away party. Now that I look at it, like that was his going away party. That's how I look. That's how I'm able to feel all right. You know what I'm saying, bro? But thank you so much, Wrench Turner. I appreciate you, man. Let me we got another couple of guys. I got my man. Hey man, I'm doing the best I can. Look, I haven't had a chance to grieve because I've been focused on his mom. You see what I mean? I gotta be strong for his mom, and she don't have any other sons,
Right. Right.
She doesn't have anybody else she can depend on. And his little daughter is graduating from college next Saturday. So the man's not gonna see his only child graduate from college, And
anything you need from us, brother, don't we know you're strong enough, right? I know how you built, we've talked on other panels, but you're human also, brother. So just keep that in mind that I know you made for it, but you're also human. So when it's time to take a breath, bro, take a breather.
Yeah, when you know, I've give me a couple of weeks. Y'all might see me disappear for a month or two. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But just let me deal with it now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do this to give y'all a chance to get it out, because being close to him, I know a lot of y'all are hurt. You see what I'm saying? And so I want to just do this for y'all, but give me a minute. I'm gonna take my time. I'll disappear. Don't ask no questions. I'll be back. You know, I might run a few reruns. Y'all might see some old military videos, you know, with the bad camera, but just give me a minute. You know what I'm saying? Man, the truth is, man, right now, all I want to do is hug my children, bro. That's it. You know, and I don't want to go too personal, man, but I got lawyers for my child custody case calling me. I'm like, I can't deal with that right now. I got to deal with this. And everybody knows how important that is, but this is more important. So just, you know, we're going to be fine together. You know, we got to be men. You know, I ain't one of them dudes that's going to get on national TV and cry. I don't want to disappoint y'all like that, but I'm going to get me a corner one day and a beer, and you know what I'm saying, to do it and smoke a cigar. Anyway, brother, thank you so much, man. Let's get some new brothers in here. Hold on a minute. We got Anthony Blow. How you doing, Anthony Blow? Welcome to the broadcast, man.
Oh man, brother Dennis.
Like to share?
Oh man, first of all, I've been trying to get on your show for a while, but you always streaming during the day while I was grinding. But you know how they always say death brings people together. But I think this is probably the best time to come on. But first of all, real quick, in honor of Kevin, I'm gonna put this candle of the evening in front of us. It's that oud wood from
man, he tricked me into buying some of that too.
And today, of all the creeds I was rocking, I chose to rock the creed. This is one of the last ones he put together, man. But I just want to say a few things just in support of you. Number one, man, we love you. We love what you're doing with your sons. Keep shining. I've been Facebook friends with you before you even started your show, man. That's the one thing people don't understand about Kevin is that Kevin influenced a lot of people. But he came from us. He came from the manosphere. He came from that red pill community of men that were trying to figure out life and figure out how we were supposed to navigate and stay clear of traps. Long story short about me in terms of some of the inspiration that Kevin did with my life personally. 7 years ago, man, I lost everything in terms of business, job, everything else. I'm a multimillionaire today. And and it ain't even about me, but it's about us. You know what I'm saying? Realizing that a lot of us brothers have been grinding for a long time, and we just needed the chance. We just needed the world to recognize who we are, recognize who our image is. And Kevin, you know, a lot of the things that we were doing internally, I've been in the manosphere, red pill community since 2014. He codified it. He gave us that platform. He gave us that polish that we needed to say, this is how you take it to that next level. And I just want to, you know, and I don't want to take too much of your time up, brother, but I want to say this in terms of a lot of the men that were speaking in terms of, you know, looking at the reactions of Black women, and then also your response. I want to read just one scripture from the book of Jeremiah chapter 18. And I say this goes both ways in terms of we shall see what happens with our nation. God said, if at any time, this is 18 verse 7, if at any time that I announce a nation or kingdom is to be uprooted, torn down and destroyed, and if that nation I warn repents of its evil, then I will relent and not inflict on it the disaster I had planned. And if at another time I announce that a nation or kingdom is to be built up and planted, and if it does evil in my sight and does not obey me, then I will reconsider the good I had intended to do for it.
All right. Thank you so much for that prayer, brother. We want to get to some other brothers who are in here. Thank you so much, Anthony. And that's a beautiful story. Make sure if you got time, the memorial is going to be on Sunday the 15th. You can chime in. We got some surprises, some special guests that's going to come through. It'll be good to have your voice there, man. But thank you so much. Let's another one of my guys, Essential Entities, man. Welcome back. How you doing, man? One of my first and fervent supporters, brother. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, how you doing, sir? How's everything going, Dennis?
Doing good, man. I like those photographs you have in the back there.
Yeah, I'm trying to build up and get motivated. I was on the mix. Jason had a call yesterday on the mix. Family got together and they was saying some very heartfelt things about Kevin. We know that gentleman is family, man. He touched so many brothers' lives, man. Y'all brothers, thanks a lot. Also, Dennis, for doing what you're doing to keep this defamation in check a little bit, man. Appreciate your services. I know,
man. I hope, and I'm not, and I want to be clear. I'm not acting as Kevin Samuel's family because as their family attorney, because I don't want to represent them as an attorney. It's too personal for me.
Right.
You understand that? I need y'all to understand that I'm not his family's attorney. It's too personal. I take it too personal. You see what I mean? But I hope when this is all over with, I hope Kevin's family and that young lady that they've been maligning her character, that young nurse that tried to save his life. I hope she sues these rag tabloids for every dollar that they have and gets punitive damages. I hope she gets a $20 or $30 million judgment collectively against these people because she's a private person. And as I listened to that 911 recording, she was doing everything that a nurse could do, and on top of that, she was frantic. And it's just a horrible. I hope she sues them. You guys, you want to see conspiracy? Wait till they start dropping. The judge will let you know if it was a conspiracy or not and who was at fault. When the judge says, okay, you pay her $10 million, that's what you do. Since you want to print that up and make money, I hope she sues the pants off. And I hope Kevin Samuel's family can do that. And I'm doing my best to find some good lawyers for them and just to refer, but I'm not representing them as an attorney. I'm just simply acting as a spokesperson until this hard time passes. And that's it, and that gives me freedom to say and do things I wouldn't otherwise do. You see, because if I'm acting like a lawyer, I couldn't point out to how hypocritical people like Boyce Watkins and Vivica Fox and Jamal, Judge, what's his name? That damn Reverend Cleflo. I couldn't point out how hypocritical they were, because them attacking this dead black man, knowing that they have their own dirt on them and have their own conspiracies and controversy with them. They're wrong. They don't want anybody tweeting that about them on their death day when their children are seeing that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But go ahead, essential entities, man. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. It's just that it's very unfortunate. I looked at, we all pay close attention to Kevin. And one thing we all can gather at the end is that man was trying to make an improvement. Some people was trying to, might not like the delivery, the tone. It's irrelevant to the value of the message to make an improvement, not only just for men and women, but just for the community and family institution altogether. So, this gentleman to be greatly missed. You know what I'm saying? I consider him a friend. I called in on the show. I got a chance to speak with him. I feel fortunate enough to actually have the opportunity to speak to him. And being private, brother, some of us like to be private for our own particular reasons, and we understand that. And I just appreciate that you got this platform so we can continue to grow in the message and make better improvements for our folks and our people, man. I appreciate everything you do, Dennis.
Hey, man, I appreciate you too, bro, man. And thank you guys, man. I appreciate all my original guys have been here. I appreciate y'all, man. It's definitely, this is not the way I wanted to grow. Kevin had given me some tips. He said, look, you got to get some thumbnails up and you got to make your title shorter.
Yes, sir.
So I was doing that, and then I got 1,000 people here and 1,000, I was feeling good, and this is not the way I wanted my channel to grow, and I've already done very well for myself. This is not my sole source of income. It's not even a substantial source of income for me. This is just something I started off doing on Facebook, and now I just meandered over here to YouTube. I'm good in life. God has blessed me. However, I do appreciate all you new folks trusting me with your ears, and I won't let you down. I have some fervent followers. What I'm saying is we are like my followers, the people on my page, we're like the 300. You see, this is my guys, because we really believe in manliness, masculinity, fatherhood, building ourselves up, being the best man we could be. this is who we are over here. You know, Kevin was a lot more open. You know, he could roll with you. You know, he'll talk to you. He had folks coming in from all over the world. You know, he was a more of a worldly kind of cosmopolitan guy. We're steel and bones over here. You see what I'm saying? We're brick and mortar. We got gangsters. We got cops. We got engineers. We got plumbers. We got dudes that just got out of jail and dudes is sitting in lofty towers. You see what I'm saying? But what we are here is we're all men. And that's this page. That's what this page is about. Women are welcome. You know, I guess now they're welcome even more, you know, because I made a promise that I would accept a few more, or accept Kevin Samuels followers. But for the most part, we got to remain true to what we do here. But thank you so much, Essential Entities, for all your support, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Have a great day.
All right. Y'all, let's hit the KS button. You know, hit the KS for Kevin Samuels. And, you know, I want to reiterate my point. And I know we got a couple more guys here who hadn't had a chance to talk. Young brother Success 2021. You were saying that you heard people in India and all these Pakistan. Tell us about that, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Like, look, if you go online right now, you type in Kevin Samuels India, you got people speaking Hindi, Punjabi talk about Kevin Samuels. You got people in Japan and China talk about Kevin Samuels. You got people in Africa talk about Kevin Samuels. South America, Europe, Canada. I've never seen nothing like this in this magnitude. And remind you, he's not an athlete. He's not an entertainer. He's a businessman. And he's a perfect image for the black man. And that's what I love.
Man, you said enough, man. Thank you so much, brother. God bless you, man. Let's
Thank
keep
you.
it going.
And
Yes,
can I just say one more thing too? And I want, because I DM'd you on Instagram, but I just want to let you know, prior to me meeting Kevin Samuels, I made poor dating choices. I had no idea the woman I was dating, why everything was going wrong. But until I listened to that man's content, now I'm with a beautiful South African girl.
Cool.
And she works for me for my company. And hopefully everything goes well, then I'm gonna put the ring on it.
Hey, my girl worked for me too. You and me, come on, right there, fist bump, baby. Get there, bam. All right, brother. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Peace.
All right. So look, man, I appreciate y'all, man. This has been cool, man. We you know, hit the number one button. If you appreciate this conversation and you like this, man, go ahead and hit the number one button. In addition to that, make sure you subscribe to the channel before Saturday, because guess what's going to happen? Oh, not Saturday, because on Saturday is a cutoff day. Basically, if you don't subscribe to the channel by Saturday, it's going to be nearly impossible for you to comment on the day of the actual memorial, the online memorial. And you're going to have some very special guests on that day. And I want everybody who wants to participate to be able to participate. So, you know, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel now. And for you guys who think, you know, like I said, this is not some contrivance. You see what I'm saying? This is a page that was built organically, you know, from 100 to 200 followers. We talk about man stuff here. So you're going to have to work with me. I'm going to try to talk a little bit more and make it a little bit more universal. Kevin Samuels told me, he said, look, get the people what they want. Stop doing what you want to do. I like talking about the military. You know, I like talking about veterans from, you know, foreign wars. That's what we like talking about, reparations and lawsuits and who we can sue. That's what we do here, you know. But, you know, if you guys want me to change over, I'll do that. But it has to be something that you guys push. So the main thing is, let's get the subscriptions up. Again, I appreciate y'all, man. And you know, shout out to Jonathan Barronville. That's my dude. That's gonna be my, hey man, shout out to you, man. We're gonna talk soon. I haven't forgot about you, brother. And I appreciate everything that you're doing behind the scenes, man. Keep up the good work. But I need more moderators. Y'all make sure that if you're not a mod, I'm gonna go ahead and make Jonathan the moderator also. Anybody who gives $100, you automatic any dollar, 100 or more, you're gonna automatically be a moderator. That's what we're gonna do. We'll start with that. That way I know you're serious about helping this channel grow and keeping the profanity down and stuff like that. Anybody who gives $100 or more, you'll automatically be a moderator. We'll keep that rule intact. But man, here's the thing. and I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. I want you guys to recognize that these people are attacking Kevin Samuels, not because they know him personally, not because he's done anything to them, but because they recognize that this is about power and influence. And he has your ears. He had your ears. Even now, his philosophy, his way of talking to you, his way of helping women find mates, it usurps, books like, Think Like a Man, Walk Like a Woman. I forgot what it was called, but he's taking power and influence away from them. And at the end of the day, when that happens, it hits their pockets, but more important, it makes them unimportant. If you got somebody else who people are willing to listen to, right, and you're not as effective as you used to be, your influence is dwindling. And for people in that game, in the influence game, that's a death knell. What happens when nobody wants to listen to a preacher anymore? The church house empties out. And so they're basically in a situation where they realize we got to do it. You see, we've got to do it. Okay. We got to attack this guy, because if we don't attack this guy, he's going to destroy us and what we're trying to do. Shout out to Neil Stewart. Welcome to the moderator. Welcome to the he's part of the mod squad, or as we call the wrench mob. Welcome. Gave $100. Thank you so much. And this is their game. So recognize it. They're not wasting their time. They're doing what's in their best interest. So when you have people like Boyce Watkins and Vivica Fox and Jamal Bryant and Creflo Dollar and whoever else is going to come out the woodwork, even these YouTubers to a certain extent, they're attacking Kevin Samuels. Why are they doing it? Because he had to. He was drawing up all the energy. He was drawing up all the resources. They were sitting here looking at him make all that money, and they were only getting like $2 in their super chat, and they were jealous of that. That's what was going on, and that's why you see it. Even folks like Tom Likas, this skeleton who's come out the closet from 40 years ago. Like, man, we get it. Tom Likas used to have a radio show. You talked a lot. Got it. But now you're here you're angry because Kevin did what? He did a job that was, he did his job better than you did your job. And the technology's changed, so he was able to do it in a market that was worldwide. That's what's going on. It's jealousy because he came, here it is, this guy from YouTube, this skinny guy from Oklahoma, right, came in and just helped change the relationship conversation across America. That's what he did, and across the world. You got people in India, Australia, the UK talking about this man. What does that say? Of course they're going to be jealous. Now he's a rising star. This is what's going on. So don't forget what we're dealing with, man. This is a power play. This is about power and influence. But either way, you guys, man, I appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the #1 button. I love you guys, man. I hope that, I hope you appreciate what I'm doing. And we're going to leave this with this note. I want you to make sure that you give people their gifts. Give them their flowers while they're still here. That's what I want you guys to do. Now I'm going to play this, and I want y'all to hit the KS button while it's running. All right, just hit the KS button while it's running. And if there's somebody out there that you appreciate, make sure you show them you appreciate by giving them their gifts and giving them their flowers while they're alive. This is Uncle D. I'm out.
If you ever been to Cartier, they do a good job after.
So we appreciate you, Kevin. This is from my family to yours, to you.
Thank you very much.
You've done so much for our family. You introduced me to this beautiful woman who is soon to be my wife.
She shot her shot.
She got that significant character.
Significant character. And so many of these little catchphrases.
I was actually listening to that broadcast with you three with the sitting.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, back to the Facebook group real quick.
Which one was it? The shoot the shot video?
And the thing is, her family has Dominican roots. So I was living down there.
I'm going to check this out. Yeah, baby. Oh, this won't break. Woo! Is this the Oud collection?
Yes.
Oh shit. Thank you.
I was
This
thinking
is a good day.
Sons of all, but then I was like, what's the
This is the ginger. This is the ginger one. Rust. Pink. Oh, that's new. Amber. Oh. Yeah. You can give me a shout out. You can give me a shout out next time you do a show. You can give me a shout out.
This is, I'm gonna get
Oud
it.
collection, one of the best Oud collections in the world, and nobody really knows about these. I need to talk about these. Told you. I've been hypnotic fragrances. Thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Cool.
and there's a card in there.